So I think that was the time that I had forgotten diapers that we had bought. I'd forgotten to bring some things because I just assumed that they would have something, or they would have brought his things that we had purchased, and they didn't. So I was playing with him and rolling him on the floor and giving him baby exercise and rocking him, walking him around, stuff like that. And we had a routine that I would take off his socks and shoes and his pants and shirt and give him baby massage with the baby body lotion, and he enjoyed it because it calmed him down, eh? And they didn't have the lotion there, and I didn't have any with me, and he was getting a little fussy from feeling sick and agitated, so I couldn't calm him down that way, and he was still a little irritable when I was kind of bouncing a little bit, walking with him, and it wasn't really helping him. And I noticed on the back of his head there was, where the babies get that spot when they rub their head on the crib like that. Well, there was that, but it wasn't that. It was different, and it was spiky because I felt it with my finger. I felt the back of his head like that, and it felt like somebody just cut your hair, and it's all bristly, right? And because usually when babies rub their head like that, it's soft. It's like really soft skin, and there's a spot missing, right? And this was really bristly, and it was below the spot where there's the occipital bun where it starts to go down deeper into the neck. Backwards, that's the occipital bun, and it was below that. So usually on top of that thing, the occipital bun, they get that spot, the crib head or crib balding or whatever they call it. And it wasn't that. It was somebody had cut his hair, and I was concerned that somebody had scissors around him, and I know the foster family had a little girl living with them. I thought, oh shoot, maybe that little girl's playing with scissors, cutting his hair. I just, my imagination went wild, and then I thought, well, what other creepy thing could have went on? Is it adults trying to do some weird thing, or was there a drug testing because of that meconium thing at the hospital too? Are they still doing drug testing? It was about 3 months by now, and they hadn't done any on me. And so I went and asked the supervisor there. I says, they didn't put anything in his diaper bag, and there's no bottle, and he's crying, and I'm getting, concerned. I need a bottle. So he just sat there and looked at me and read his notes, and kind of was smirking, smiling, but just looking like that. And I had to tell him again before he got up and went out into the other room, closed the door, and went to see the workers. And the worker come back and asked me if I needed a bottle, and I said yeah, and I need a couple diapers, and he's hungry, and I forgot to bring some stuff. So she said, hold on, I'll see what we can do. So she goes back out, and this was not Chantal, this was the children's service worker. So the baby had his own worker. My worker was Chantal, right? And it took her about 15 minutes before she come back in, and she's like shaking the bottle above her head. I got a bottle. And so I started doing that for a while, and feeding him, and just taking care of him. And then I said he was sick because he was on the meds, and they didn't bring that. So she gave me some meds, and I gave it to him. And actually it was after the feeding that I noticed the hair, because I was, inspecting him, checking him out, seeing my little handsome guy. And yeah, then I went up a second time to tell Ivan because I lost my mind. I thought all those wild thoughts about what could have happened, and I asked him, I said, somebody cut his hair and I want to talk to the workers about it. He just sat there again and ignored me. And so I was walking around and rocking the baby, and He's wide awake, he wouldn't sleep yet, and just something come over me. I lost it, and I said, fine, if you're not going to do anything and those workers are not going to do anything. Actually, yeah, I don't know. One of the workers I'd mentioned, Tammy, I'd mentioned to her that it was cut. Somebody cut his hair on the back of his head, and she looked at it and I said, feel it. She said, no, that's just a crib balding. I said, no, somebody cut his hair, feel it. No, I asked the foster mother if anybody had scissors around him, and she said absolutely not. And I was like, so you're lying to my face. I can see with my own eyes that this is cut hair, and it's not a crib balding. Somebody cut his hair, and you're not gonna do anything about it. Well, I talked to the foster family. That's all I can do in that. And I says, okay, whatever. So I was a little upset, right? And yeah, after giving him the bottle a little bit, and says, okay, if they're not gonna do something about it, and you're not gonna do something about it, and I was just so alone, afraid, scared. I mean, helplessness. I felt helpless that I couldn't do anything because they weren't gonna do anything about it, and how could I get answers as to what was happening, who's cutting his hair, and why they're not bringing stuff, and just saying they will, and just all these things. Everything's going through my head, and I got on the phone and I just dialed 911. It says, hi, I'm at the Aboriginal Services Unit, and I'm at a visit, but the workers aren't protecting my child, and the foster family are treating him bad and cutting his hair, and I'm not leaving here until you send somebody. I want to talk to somebody. So they said, okay, ma'am, we'll send officers right away. So it's probably 10 minutes. A stream of workers after that, when I hung up, Ivan went out, I think, to tell on me right away after he heard what I had to say to the cops. And yeah, a stream of workers, like 5, 6, 7 workers, come in at once through the door, and they're like, okay, give us the baby, you're gonna hurt the baby, this visit's over. I'm like, no, this visit's not over. Why you crazy if you think I will give you the baby when you guys aren't protecting him? I'm the only one that protects him, so don't even touch it, And I didn't have my shoes on because I took our shoes off, right? And I'd been sitting on the floor in the living room area, and then there was the kitchen where the worker was sitting, and that's where we were right now. So I went over there to get my shoes on, and Tammy, the children's worker for the baby, she goes, oh no, she's gonna run, she's getting her shoes on. They thought I was gonna run with the baby, they wrote later, and I was talking to baby, I said, that's funny, they think I'm gonna run away with you to protect you. I said, that'd be a good idea if I should do that, but they would put mommy in jail forever, right? And so I'm holding him, and a business suit officer gets there, and a uniform officer gets there, and the uniform one's the one that talked to me, and he says, are you Amanda? And I said, yeah. I said, I'm glad you're here because I want to talk to you about this stuff. And right away, it was Chantal come in the room again and got between me and the officer, and she's like, oh, she assaulted me, like just going on in her story. And I was like, I did not. And she's lying. I said, I'm trying to talk to you, tell you what happened, and they're lying like this. And she was trying to take the baby, and I pushed her hand away from us. That was it. I didn't do anything, and took her hand off the baby and me and my arm or whatever, and that was it. But she claimed that was an assault, so the officers are here. All of a sudden my mind went back to reality. I said, if she says I assaulted her, I'm gonna go to jail because cops are here, and there's just no way out of these people's lives. And especially this now, and I'm going to jail. I know it, so I better, might as well punch her. Might as well assault her, go to jail worthwhile for something. So I was holding a baby, on this side of on the left side of me, and she was standing right there, and the officer was in the front of me. So I'm right-handed, right? So I all up and I punched her right in the cheek because she's standing this way. So it went like that and knocked off her glasses. And the worker Chuck, he come and took the baby from me and my arms, and I was just waiting for something to happen, and I know he grabbed the baby, and then the officers threw me down on the ground, and I'd recently had a bike injury on my knee, and my knee was like unable to bend, and they threw me on that bad knee, and I just screamed out in pain because it was so terrible at the time. And then they pushed me to the ground, they're kneeling on my head, and they're pulling my arms up to put the cuffs on, but they're pulling them up extra high and acting like I wasn't gonna settle down or something. They held me like that for 5 minutes until I was just in so much pain. And then when they pulled me up, they had to pull me up because I wasn't gonna get up. I made them pull me up, and next they were gonna take me out and put me in a cruiser, take me away.